Okay, welcome. This is just a recording I'm just going to be doing in relation to a group called GOCC. Basically, they're what you'd call a sort of Israelite or Hebrew Israelite group. Basically, what it is about them is that their leader, sometimes he loves to overplay things which are happening, and it's as if he's trying to make prophecies. And in the hope that they'll come true and then that he'll then get loads of followers. And now we've had this coronavirus breakout. It seems he's trying to take advantage of this as well, which is just a bit annoying, because especially since when I've had a look into this virus to see what they're saying about it, and it doesn't seem as if it's as bad as what people are saying, even though of course you can still die from it. But you might be a bit surprised when I show you something that I found on a site, which might make you think again about the effects of this coronavirus. So what I was going to do, so basically, they had like an elder who was speaking in one of their classes, and actually, I'm trying to think which. All right, let me start with Elder Rakar first. So there was a recording that he was doing, and I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to do it without any video, because you don't actually need video for when anything that he's showing. It's just basically what he said.
All right. All praises be to the Most High. We're up at around 700.
All right, so that's him just starting his show. I'm just checking out the sound. I'm recording sound, so I'm just making sure it's being captured properly. So basically, let me just get this. Yeah, so he's in this recording, he's going to say some things about the coronavirus, and what it is. You're going to hear what he says, and let's see what the actual, proper scientists and officials are saying, and see if there's a difference between them. Right, so the first statement he makes, it's at 7 minutes.
To begin against prophecy, tuition, and through that, China, and it was in Asia for years. And that while are censoring the number of deaths that's really going on over there.
All right, if you listen to what he's...
Now, I have a direct source, baptized members, some who live in China, Now, right now in China, for those who don't know, the deaths are not in the thousands. They're not in the tens of thousands. In certain areas of China, not where this particular brother is right now, it's in the hundreds of thousands.
Right, so you heard what he said there. He said the deaths are in the hundreds of thousands. So I've got this other recording. Now let me see if I can get it up. Which actually it's actually I'll put a link to it in the description. And what it is, it's actually a It's actually a sort of documentary sort of program which is made by the Chinese that I found, and yeah, it actually gives you information about the number of people that were dying, and I'm just gonna get that up. So right, so here it is. So you remember you heard what he said. He said the deaths weren't in the thousands, they're in the 100,000. Yeah, just like if I could only play one at a time. Basically, this recording is one I found, which is actually a documentary about what actually happened in China. And so I'm just going to sort of skip. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to skip through it to get to the parts where they give you the numbers. And let's see if it says 100,000 like Rakar said.
集中力量抓好湖北省， 尤其是武汉市疫情防控。
害怕。自2020年1月23号10点起。
So remember, the outbreak apparently started on the 1st of January, and this is what they're saying is happening on the 23rd of January.
全市城市公交、地铁、轮渡、长途客运暂停运营。
So they suspended. So almost a month had gone by before they suspended anything. Now I'm just going to skip to where the guy who actually signaled the outbreak.
From the wildlife sold in this
but the virus.
然后，但是我们就是拿当时的诊断标准，因为当时诊断标准第一条很重要，一定要有华南海鲜市场的接触史。
Apparently, it was some seafood market is where it originated from.
Wild animals were blamed.
现在已经存在有人传人，同时医务人也有传染。
Dr. Zhao's patient never visited the seafood market, but the virus was there anyway. 2 days later, it was confirmed, and Zhao was now infected.
回家休息，突然回家一休息，出现了畏寒，然后全身乏力，然后一量那个体温37.5度，我说完蛋了。
Yes, he knew he was in trouble because I think your temperature is supposed to be 36, so 37.5. That's a bit high.
More of Zhao's co-workers started to show symptoms.
恰这样一个非保护的一个接触，这也是恰造成最终我们一组的医生护士全部被感染的原因之一。从那个时候开始，我们就知道这个疾病的传染性还是蛮高的。
Wuhan's 38,000 licensed medical workers were stretched thin as the virus progressed.
Right, so you see how lots of people got infected with it. So if we go by Ricard saying all those thousands are infected, they should all die in order to be able to get close to what he's saying. But I'm just trying to see if I can get to the part where it actually first gives you the numbers. So just hold on.
As people turn
Yeah, this is 29th of January, 7th day. Right, so they've had 356 infections. And then outside of, in that area where Wuhan is where it started, and 705 outside.
On January 31st, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Right, medical supply factories back to work. Entered one of the...
Alright, I mean, this is a pretty interesting documentary. It's got a lot of information in it. And it doesn't look like lies to me because the people are just natural in it. There's no one like trying to be clever or anything that I can see. And it really does look like normal people to me.
Alone. Because of similar protective suits, a patient mistakes a CGTN reporter for his doctor. Gloves, an owner of...
I'm just trying to find the, alright, the number. Let's see. I guess it's 21 days. Right, see, that's pretty bad. So, they're having 13,000 infections, yeah, which is a lot. Inside and outside is 312. So that's a lot. So of course, yeah, you'd expect someone to be be concerned about that because that's a lot of people. But let's keep going.
Medical work, the outbreak, the epidemic. The battle isn't over. But people are now looking ahead to the day when love and life can resume.
Right, so notice, after 33 days, the new infections have gone down. So we had that peak at 13,000, but it actually looks like the Chinese, they have it under control. And now, the best thing that the elder Rakar can say is that, well, it's just all lies and there's people, everywhere just dying. But the thing about it is that alright, what I want to do is, this is the video showing what actually happened in China, which I have a link to in the description. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to go to an actual website which has information about the infections which are around the world. And so what we're going to see is, does that chart, just what it says on the next website, match what Elder Rakar says, or does it match what this video that I've just watched, says? So let's just find that out. All right, so this is another site that I found, and it's it's an up-to-date site relating to the coronaviruses. And you notice it's the top 100,000. So you heard him say 100,000. So let's see if it's going to say about 100,000 dead, or if it's going to be 100,000 infected. So let's find out. And remember, this guy likes too much to come up with stuff like this, just as scaremongering. And so basically, this is update as of Sunday, 8th of March, which is today. And it says that there's a cruise ship with 3,500 people and 21 who tested positive. So that's nowhere near 100,000. In Italy, all right, they've locked down 16 million residents in the northern part of the country. And looks like we've got the first deaths in the US East Coast. And we have 437 confirmed cases in America, 86 in Washington State, and 79 in California. So that's still not 100,000. Let's see. All right, so there's some festivals been cancelled, I think. Yeah. So that's just cancellations. All right. So worldwide, there are 107,485 confirmed coronavirus cases worldwide, with more cases popping up outside China than inside. So notice, Chinese seem to be doing a good job. So these thousands of bodies that but actually this is a good time to switch to the next video I was going to show, because I wanted to show this one actually before I showed this part, but just because of what Rakar said about the 100,000, that's why I ended up showing it.
And we're going to start with the introduction of the lesson.
Okay, so here's one
I just think that the elders are coming out with profound lessons that that this gospel must be set right. And Iran declared acting up. You got the video about the coronavirus?
Yeah, here we go.
You got that one? Specifically, the one I send you?
Yes.
Okay, let's get that one. Can we put that up on screen?
Now let's see if this video has decent information, like what I'm seeing on this website.
Pause it, and I need the
maybe this website's a lie, maybe it isn't. But remember, we're looking to see if it matches
I don't know if you
that video that I just showed you, the Chinese. So, all right, so this is a Chinese man in the United States. So let's see if this. All right, look. Wuhan coronavirus death toll is over 50,000.
And he was doing an interview.
CNN.
Yes, absolutely. This is the billionaire whistleblowers, what they're calling them.
But this website disagrees with that. The video I just showed you disagrees with it. But guess which one GOCC shows you? Oh, they have to show you the one which is, has the overinflated numbers. So why not just show the truth instead? Or, okay, maybe it's not the truth. Maybe this guy is telling the truth. But why not go with a more reputable site? I mean, this is Living Science. So you're telling me that livingscience.com, they just tell lies, basically. And some person on a fancy TV show, that's where all the truth is. And you're going to tell me that CNN, they're the truth as well, really?
He was having an interview with the former White House chief strategist, Steve Bannon, and the information that this whistleblower brought to the table shocked probably every media outlet right now, is going viral. The information, he said this, he believes, I quote, 1.5 million people are confirmed with the coronavirus in China. But this is the shocking part. He believes over 50,000 bodies are being cremated right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is unheard of. Usually...
Okay, so you heard that. Now, I was about to call it nonsense, but you never know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this website is a complete lie. And maybe that documentary I just showed, maybe that's a lie as well. And maybe this guy's telling the truth. I mean, you never know. So just in case. But what I'm trying to say is that why did GOCC go to this, like, CNN of all people? Really? I mean, CNN, they go to CNN for the truth. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? Go to someone that knows about viruses. All right, so let's continue this.
Crematory is run, for the whole week, maybe 4 or 5 hours a week. But this one right now in Wuhan is running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And he's saying this: China, the media, the people are not telling us the truth of the real numbers of what he predicts and he believes of the people that are dying, not the people that are being quarantined. The deaths that were not being reported, he believes is probably in the millions already. Wow. We're not being told.
Just last night to this morning, there are 15,000 new infection cases, as well as 250 new deaths that have already taken place within.
I don't know about the 24 hours, but that 15,000 is close to the figure for infections that they gave in that documentary. So you notice that there's some truth in that, what they're saying, but it's like they're injecting lies with the truth. And you have to wonder, why is GOCC going with? Why not just go with something more reputable?
24. And now, here's what they're saying.
Hey, pay attention.
If they don't get a hold of it soon, 60% of the world will come down with this disease.
60% of the world population.
Absolutely.
Pause that for a
According
minute.
to Dr. Gabriel told the.
So according to their analysis, 60% of the world population will be wiped out.
Okay, so you heard that. So they've decided to go for that. What some random program on TV is saying, whereas this live science, they actually say, remember, this is Sunday, 8th of March, which is today, and they're saying that let's have a look, I just went past, all right, 3,648 deaths have been linked to the virus. Now, I don't see any millions there. But here's the best part. 60,637 individuals have recovered from COVID-19. And what that shows you is that our immune systems can fight it. So if our immune system can fight it, then just like the common cold or influenza, it can be held back, basically. If these 60,000 didn't recover, then yes, I could understand if a million people could die. And yes, the world population could be wiped out if people couldn't recover from it. But these 60,000 people who have recovered, this is a significant number. And this is what GOCC should be telling you. They shouldn't be spreading all this, well, I call it misinformation because it doesn't seem real to me. And so as you hear, the Hubei province, this is where it started. So on Friday, 6th of March, they haven't reported any new infections. So why was that guy saying about the incinerators going 24 hours? I mean, really? Where do you get that from? So like I say, this is a case of if that documentary is lies and this live science website is lies, then yeah, maybe these guys are right, and we'll soon find out anyway. But this is the thing. If you come here in a month's time and you suddenly find it's under control, then that means GOCC went with the lies, basically. It's simple. That's how you can find out. But if in a month's time the place is overrun and 2 million people have died, then well, what can I say? GOCC was right and that documentary and this website was wrong. Alright, so let's move on. So this website's really good because it gives you some pretty good information about what's happening. And I was surprised to find out that Italy seems to actually be doing quite badly. Where is it? Oh no, I think it's on another link I've got. Yes, America. Alright, here we go. So in Italy, see, notice how people don't talk about Italy much, but 5,883 have it, and it's killed 233, and that's a lot. So Italy's in a bit of trouble. But as you've noticed, Ricard couldn't be bothered because it's China who's in prophecy. So just because he thinks China is the one who's in prophecy, he's willing to ignore Italy and their disaster that's happening there, just because it's not, a part of what he's saying. But no, if people are dying in Italy, then that's a problem as well, because that's just nearby. And it says 10 million people have been locked down in the Lombardy region, and including the capital of Milan. So that's going to affect the football, isn't it? So they're not going to be happy. Oh yeah, and another place which is doing badly is, of course, South Korea. But I know before Ricard used to talk about, oh no, sorry, this is South Korea. Yeah, if it was North Korea, then Ricard would be interested. But because it's South Korea, yeah, no one cares about South Korea because, no one seems to really care about what happens to them. And of course, where I live in England, it's 209. So even I've got to worry a bit. And that's obviously infections, not deaths. I don't know if you've had any deaths here yet. So it looks like Europe is getting hammered quite badly with this. And so we obviously have to be careful with what we do when we sort of go outside, etc. And so I was just going to show you the next one. Hopefully I won't take too long. Right, so you heard what? You heard when Ricard said that first one.
All right. All praises be to the Most High. We're up at around 700, just where I need to begin. To come leave the more nations, the Israelites. Someone wanted the Most High have entrusted us, and now they're out there by themselves, not realizing, not looking to fall under any level of shepherds or leadership. And they would become more divisive than anything. So it's our job as teachers, as shepherds, to put the word out. I'm going to make contaminated with the virus, burning people out into public. We would call, they're checking the temperature of everyone coming out into public places. They must check your temperature, and they're quarantining people who has fever or any signs of flu symptoms. Don't think it's not coming here. I'm going to show you something. On top of that, there's mobile incinerators where they're driving around with these mobile incineration trucks, burning people who have died from the disease.
Right, so remembering that recording that I showed you from the documentary, there's no signs of that anywhere. But anyway, just
to quell the plague.
Oh, and here's the other thing. You don't burn bodies to quell a plague. The plague only happens in the living because it's the people who are alive that actually transfer the virus in their fluids. So once a person's dead, unless you go and actually rub your hand over their mouth, you're not going to get infected. So you don't actually need to burn the bodies because the bodies aren't spitting anything out while they're... And here's the other thing you have to understand is viruses don't survive long when they're exposed to air. So they have to be actually inside some sort of protective environment for them to survive. So burning the bodies is more necessary with other kinds of diseases. There are certain diseases where you do have to try and dispose of the bodies, but there's other diseases where you don't have to, especially viral ones.
That's what's going on right now in China. Now, when you look at the Walmart goods and the majority of goods that are shipped into America, it's coming directly from China. And usually it's the poor who shop at Walmart. Now, you haven't heard this on the news anywhere. I hope they don't censor this video today. Okay. I hope they don't censor this video. But right now, I'm putting it out there so that you'll all understand what's going on here. It won't be long before it's reports that some of the goods that are being made from China was contaminated with a virus. Right? And all the goods that were purchased in Walmart, you'll see a sign of certain people, employees in Walmart and all that coming down with the virus. You haven't heard that anywhere, right? You heard it right here.
Okay, so you heard that. That's his prophecy. And I think he said this about 3 weeks ago, maybe. So, well, you have to look. So anyone who's in America, they need to keep their eye out if they know that if they have a Walmart nearby, and see if people at the Walmart come down with an infection. Because what he's thinking is that, of course, they smeared the virus onto the products they sent over. The only problem is, like I said, the virus needs to be protected. So literally, you'd have to smear like a long-lasting gel onto the product so that the virus can survive inside it. So, of course, if you receive a product from China and it has some gel smeared over it, then believe me, you need to get worried that maybe you stick it in a fire or something. But if it's completely dry, then, well, there isn't going to be a virus on it, because the oxygen would have killed the virus a long time ago. Because that's the thing about viruses, that for viruses to survive, it is actually kind of difficult surviving in this current atmosphere that we're in, because of the way the oxygen eats into you. A bit like how when cars rust. So if a rusty car can't survive, then how can you expect a virus to survive in this sort of atmosphere?
They're going to publicize it that way. Years ago, around 6 years ago to be precise, before they took my videos down.
All right, yeah, what he's doing now is just trying to do a bit of show off, saying that he's predicted this, that, and the other. But here's the funny thing, he keeps going on about his videos being taken down, but if he had a website, he could just put the videos up on a website if they actually were around, and let people watch it there, and then no one can take them down because it's his website. But he seems to be a bit lacking when it comes to working stuff like that out. All right, and oh yeah, so the last one, I'm just gonna see if I can finish this off quickly. All right, so this is the last, another video that he did. So
Talk Radio.
Seeing anyone dying in the spirit? Okay, let me take your level of what types of herbs, what types of quotation marks, elders, symptoms, because it's really not what they're claiming it to be. It's to a degree where if you have the flu, if you have cold symptoms, common cold, no matter what you have, eventually they're going to put this under the same category as coronavirus.
okay, so you heard what he said about the symptoms. So let's just find out from the real pros what this coronavirus is about. Alright, so we're going to go to this Living Live Science again. So remember, these guys could be lies. They could just be telling us pure lies, but especially, with what Ricard is saying. And yeah, see, look, this is updated 6th of March as well. And right, so see, like it said, 100,000 illnesses. So there's your 100,000 again, but 3,000 deaths worldwide. But here's the classic part. That's nothing compared with the flu. And we all know about the flu, isn't it? Where your nose is running, you're sneezing. Because in America alone, the flu's caused 32 million illnesses. That's a lot more than 100,000. And 310,000 hospitalizations and 18,000 deaths. And this season, so that's between last, 4 months, I presume they're saying, when it gets cold. So the flu's managed to actually slice its way through just America with 32 million illnesses. I mean, that's impressive. So what this shows you is that the influenza virus is still the boss, basically. It's the one that runs the world. And when it comes to killing people, the flu is basically the ruler. So this coronavirus, when it's come along, it still seems to be a bit of an amateur. Sorry, not amateur, a bit of a beginner virus in terms of power. But apparently it is more contagious, so that's the advantage it has. But it seems it's not as strong as, I think flu can be stronger depending on the strain, something like that. And it says here, look, scientists have studied seasonal flu for decades. So they know how dangerous it is. And we know a lot about it, but look how many people still die, even though doctors have been researching it for years. But the difference is, of course, with coronavirus, they don't know as much about it. And what you have to understand is that this COVID-19 this is the current strain. So coronavirus has actually been around before. It just has different names, and this is just the name of the current one. So people keep calling it coronavirus, but the official name is COVID-19. Let me see to the director. So what he's saying is that with the flu, so they can predict how many people are going to die from the flu, which sounds, it sounds unfortunate, of course. So they pretty much know X amount of people are going to die from it. And so I think that's one of the reasons why the sort of scientists haven't been in really much of a panic, because they know that the flu virus is still like the number one savage, basically, when it comes to killing people. But the problem with this new one, like they keep repeating here, is that they don't really know about it. So that's the main thing they're trying to do now, is to work out what exactly is going on with it. And so they're saying that flu is contagious, but we know that already because we catch it so many times. And then this COVID-19 is contagious as well. So here it's going to go to the symptoms. So the flu symptoms are fever, cough, sore throat, muscle aches, if that's normal, headaches, runny or stuffy nose, fatigue, sometimes vomiting, and diarrhea. So these are the normal ones. And like it says, they can come on suddenly. But as it says, most people who get the flu recover in less than 2 weeks. But in some people, they get complications, especially for people who are older. Right, but with COVID, the reported symptoms are from mild to severe. And notice how similar it is. Fever, cough, but this one has shortness of breath. So this is what you got to watch out for. If you see someone near you, if they sneeze, that's not so bad. That's normal. If they cough, that's okay. So don't jump on them and beat them up just because they're coughing. And if they sneeze, don't jump and beat them up either, like actually what's happened in some places. Like in a video, I saw a video in Italy, some people were going around beating up people who look Chinese. But the important one is shortness of breath, because apparently if something happens in your lungs which can actually affect your breathing. And so if someone's near to you and they're short of breath, now you've got a problem. Because that shouldn't happen when someone's got the flu. So this is what they should really be telling you, is that this is what the scary thing you look out for. So if you think someone might have coronavirus, best thing to do is just tell them to walk up a flight of steps. If they do it and they're just breathing normally, then I think you're fine. If they're almost collapsing, then, well, you might have a problem. And so, right, so 83 to 98, they develop a fever, so that's like flu. Dry cough, that's not quite like flu, but you can get that. Fatigue or muscle aches, so there's that. Other symptoms include headache, sore throat, so that's like it. Abdominal pain, I think that's different. Oh yeah, no, diarrhea, that's flu as well. So the main thing you're looking for is shortness of breath, really, to know the difference between that and flu. And so as you see here, so in China, so they analyzed 44,006 confirmed cases, and of those, 6,000 were mild, and 6,000 severe, and 2,000 critical. So what that shows you is that I presume the ones who are mild, they know that they're going to recover because basically the immune system immediately jumped into the fight once the virus was in and started to try to sort of clear it out, because this is the important thing about the immune system, is that it has to actually identify the intruder. And if it doesn't identify the intruder, then you're in big trouble. If it does identify the intruder, then you've got a chance. So like they say, the death rate is higher than flu. And yeah, so 2.3. So, but anyway, if you just go to these links when I put them in and just read through them yourself, and so you can actually understand. And so when these fearmongers come along, just tell them to go away. Basically, say that you looked up the information and you can see how it is and the symptoms, etc. And you know it's the infection is just like how it is with a cold as well. And so when they come with their scaremongering, just tell them to go away, basically. And it's a similar thing with GOCC as well. If they try and scaremonger you, just tell them to go away as well. And that they just really need to do their research and come with some proper information. All right, so that's it for now. There was some other things I was going to say, but what I'll do is I'll just put the links in the description. You can just read through them and get the proper information yourself. And remember, don't go around beating up Chinese people because it's not their fault. And also, the main thing you're looking for is a shortness of breath, not that they've got cold flu symptoms. And remembering also that this seems to be, oh, that's right. There's another link I was reading where it actually says it affects older people, and it doesn't affect children anywhere near as much. So it's basically the old people you have to watch out for, because the virus can probably grow in them more. And so then they can then put out more viruses and infect more people. And so you have to be careful of that. Whereas the young kids, they'll have the virus, but their body will actually be fighting it. So there'll be less virus coming out of them. Or maybe, I don't know, whatever. But the important thing is get the proper information and then make sure that you're informed. Okay, and thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to see any other things I come out with. Okay, bye.